Are we tired yet? Do your feet hurt? Yeah, right? It's a lot of stairs. It's a lot of stairs. We're going to get ready to go in about 2 minutes. Do you like it so far?
Yes.
Yes? Have you been to the exhibition, the exhibitors room on the 3rd floor? Oh, did you get your picture? Did you get your picture taken?
No.
They have free headshots on the 3rd floor in the exhibitors room. Yeah, the kids can get like a smile for your LinkedIn profile, for like your college stuff. Yeah. Go upstairs. So fun. You need to get your hair. No hoodies, no hats, please. None of that. God, this thing is just like right in your eyeball. People are running in. Come on in. Okay, we're going to get started. People will drag themselves in. Oh, don't run and hurt yourself. Slow down. No running. No running in the halls. How many times have we heard that? No running in the halls. Okay, welcome. My name is Lydia Loizides. I help the Department of Education with career development and getting people ready to face the quote-unquote real world. I run a company that actually works with adults and helping them get ready for the real world when they're working and doing resumes and learning about leadership and all those fun things. But I love working with kids. I think that's the best part. Okay, so Google was supposed to be here. They're not. Boo. Just kidding. Boo. But I'm going to do it. No, she got sick. Everyone has the flu. I can't really get mad at her. So we're here to talk about resumes. How many of you in the audience actually have a written resume? So let me see those hands. Not enough. I want to see all those hands. By next week, you're going to email me. You're going to tell me you have a resume. Okay. Upstairs, if you haven't gone, there's an exhibit hall with 36 groups, right? From the Intrepid, from CUNY, from Pratt, from FIT. And they all have internships and programs that you can do and all that stuff. What do you need in order to apply for any one of those things upstairs? Oh, there you go. Okay. And if you don't have a resume, right? If you don't have a resume, they're going to ask you to fill in an application. What kinds of questions they're going to ask you on the application? What have you done? Have you done any work? Do you have skills? So all the stuff that would be on a resume is also going to be on those applications that you want to fill out, okay? So we're going to start off and we're going to talk about a resume. I'm going to ask a really, what seems like a silly question, but what's a resume? I will pick you out of a crowd. Yes, go. Hang on. Yeah, go. Summary of your skills and talents. What else is a resume? This is true. Experience. What else is a resume? A profile. Yes. Awards and accomplishments. What else is a resume? Education. Your experience. These are all things that go on a resume. A resume is your calling card. It says, "Hi, I'm Lydia." And it, in 1 to maybe 1.5 pages, has to introduce you without you being in the room, to someone making a decision that's going to give you a job or an internship or an opportunity to build your skills. Okay? So what does that mean? It is a story of your accomplishments. We always talk about, oh, put yourself in their shoes. So I'm going to ask you to put yourself in the shoes of someone who works for, I'm going to make up the organization, I'll pick one from upstairs, Pratt. And they have a leadership program, and they recruit from all the kids in New York City. Do you know how many kids there are in the New York City Department of Education public school system? 1 million. Okay? If we get 1% of you guys applying for that position, that's a lot of resumes. So do yourself a favor and think about the person who has to read that, right? You're telling them a story. You're telling them a story about who you are and what you've done. How many of you like comic books? Okay. What's predictable about a comic book? Pictures, ink. It'll lay out in a certain way so that you can read it, even though it may move up and down the font size. If you read a book, a regular book, and you flip the pages, does the font go from italic, bold to yellow in a different? No, because it's exhausting. You would be exhausted reading that. Your resume, right, is like a book. Be kind to your readers. Make it simple, make it straightforward, and make it meaningful. All right, we're going to start with the tactics and the basics. Here are the things that you need to get yourself ready for applying for jobs or applying for internships, getting ready for college, just like the LinkedIn ladies who were fantastic. Did you all see that presentation? Yeah. That will be sent out if you didn't see it. We're going to have a link to the video. It was phenomenal. So you're going to need an email address, something called a master resume, because you're going to massage your resume a little bit for each job. We'll talk about that. You're going to need a sheet to track your applications. And you're going to need to actually use your calendar. How many of you use your calendar? I want to see all hands up by next week. I write everything down because it goes in this ear and out the other and falls on the floor. You need a calendar, okay? So we'll talk about that. So, what's a good email address? This is not a good email address. Lydia's Awesome 420. You may not. Keep this. Yeah, you're all laughing. Yeah. So this can't be done. All right? Not a good email address. This is a great email address. Lydia Loizides, class of 2025. Okay? If you don't have an email address like this, I encourage you to start a brand new account with a brand new email address. Yes, ma'am? Oh, so by the way, so you all receive the emails from me about are you ready, are you ready? There are servers in the schools that reject those emails because it's only intra-school email. For example, one of the prep schools, I think it was in Staten Island, none of the kids could get my emails because the server only allowed emails between the kids and the teachers in the school. Oh. Get a Gmail address. Plus, when you graduate, you don't get to take that with you, right? Like they keep it. So you're going to have all your information, all your email, all your contacts, and you're not going to be able to get them, right? So get your own. The reason why I personally recommend Google is because everything is free. Sheets, documents, templates, calendar. You can't, unless you're moving movie files through email, you're not going to run out of space. You can have it on your phone by downloading your app, right? So you can do a Drive app, you can do a Sheets app, you can do a Doc app. It is there. There's no reason for you not to use all the services that they have, so this is why I recommend it, okay? So, this is a good email address. We want that. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to jump out. If you decide that you do want to create a brand new one, you're going to go here, right? And you start entering in the information. Lydia, you can choose your name, you put all your stuff in, and you create a brand new Gmail account. Keep it separate. The team from LinkedIn talked about this too, and I can't really emphasize the importance of whatever you post lives forever. Okay? Forever and ever and ever. Save Snapchat, which even still, by the way, you can get images from and screenshots, and they can be posted, and there's nothing you can do about that. Anything that's on Instagram, anything that's on Facebook, any images you put up to Flickr, whatever you say, there is a trail. Universities, internship programs, and job employers, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go in and they're going to go, Lydia Loisides. And stuff's going to start coming up, and even if it's not me, and it's someone who has a similar name to me, perhaps may pop up. If you've ever Googled yourself, right, keep an eye on that, okay? You've got to be super, super careful. You want to, you know, you can have a Finsta account, I don't care, you can do that with Facebook too. But whatever you're going to have that's going to be your outward self as you start to really look for stuff and do stuff, be smart about it because people will look. Yes, ma'am? I see, yeah. So the question is that if you're not on social media, will that hinder you? It depends. I would say, like the LinkedIn team, if your thing is art, right, and you love art, or your thing is music, and you love to sing, or whatever it is, then you can use social media to showcase that, to keep your images, to, you know, showcase your music. You can do it on SoundCloud. You can do all that kind of stuff. That's fine. If you're doing it from the standpoint of, let's say, you're really interested in, you know, maybe your thing is biology or you want to do, you know, veterinary sciences. I'm making it up, right? If you want to do veterinary sciences, great. Start an Instagram account that can have, by the way, puppies are very popular on Instagram. But you could use social media as a way to express the interest that you have. So if it were veterinary sciences, you could start an Instagram account that showcases University of Pennsylvania has a veterinary sciences program where they have all these dogs. They're so cute. They were at the Westminster show. They have all these dogs that they train for diabetes detection, for cancer detection, for people with epilepsy. You post a couple of those golden retrievers and you talk a little bit about what the school does and what they do. You can tag the school. There's great ways to kind of use social media to your advantage. Do it wisely is what I would say if you don't have it now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start a brand new Gmail account with a tight, great email address. And then what happens is once you actually get in there, it's going to give you the welcome screen, right? And you're going to go off, so you'll see that's my new account over there. And then what happens is when we get to the drive, your drive is going to be totally blank. How many of you actually use Google Drive now for school? You have it through your school account. Awesome. So I'm not going to cover the basics. How many of you have sort of dug into the templates? Do you use the templates in Docs for book reports, lab reports? Okay, awesome. So we're going to just go right there because why not? So let's go to Google Docs. Oh, of course you're going to do that to me, aren't you? I hate my life right now. It's okay. Just kidding. All right, there we go. Yes, we know. We don't want to take a tour. We know. Okay, so up in here, you're going to go into the template gallery, and right across this row, there are 4 different kinds of resumes for you to choose from. Go simple first, right? What you want to work on first is just getting the words on the page. So I'm going to pick, I personally like that one over there, the Swiss, because I like chocolate. Totally different story. We're not going to talk about that here. So we're going to select this one, and it's going to be blank, right? And we're just going to fill that in. So we're going to hold on that for a second. Okay, so you found a template. There's 4 templates. Don't tell me you can't find a template. Pick one. Okay, it's important. Now, we're going to go back. How do you guys, I have a question for you all. How do you guys plan on tracking the applications that you want to apply to, like the groups that you want to apply to? How do you track your applications? Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's good. What happens if you lose your notebook? Oh, no, my phone. Oh, in your phone. Okay, good, excellent. I'm like, don't write it down by hand alone. Okay, bad idea. So I'm going to make a suggestion to you all. Okay, you're going to keep it all in one place. we're going to go here, and I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to add a sheet, which of course is not going to appear here because they're going to do it this way, and we're going to do a sheet. So we're going to add a sheet, a simple plain sheet, okay? I have to put this down, so I'm going to have to yell. So let's do it this way. Can you all hear me? You can. So what kinds of information do I need to track? If I make an application or apply for a job, what are some of the basic things I need to track? Go. Deadlines. So for example, we're going to I'll put due date for the application over here, right? So due date for application. What else do I need to know?
Name of the organization.
Organization name. Org name. What else do I need to know? Yes, ma'am.
Phone number.
Email. Phone number. What else do I need to know?
Name of whoever you're going to contact.
Contact person. Very good. Okay?
You're applying for.
Position. And I would also track the website. Put the website so that you have the website there in case you need to refer back. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll say, even when you're applying for a job on LinkedIn, they'll say apply at the company website. And you'll click the link and it'll take you to that job posting. Grab that URL and paste it in here, okay? If you're applying for the summer internships at the Intrepid, and we have it here, I can show you. Yep, so the Intrepid, when you get to their website, what they'll do is this is the landing page for their Leadership Institute. So what you want to do is you want to grab this URL, or application information is all down here, right? You want to grab this information or grab this URL and put it into the spreadsheet. Why are you doing this? Yeah, because you know what? 9 times out of 10, you're going to forget, right? You want to be able to access the information, hold the information, and track the information. Deadlines are different when you're applying for college or jobs or for internships. It's not like they're going to go, oh, that's okay. Sorry to hear that, you lost your book. Or sorry that you forgot. It doesn't work that way. If the deadline is January 15th, the deadline is January 15th, and there's no moving away from that. So when we go in here, and especially when we have the due date for your application, you can make this snazzy, you can make this like blue, you can make it yellow, I don't care, you can bold it, you can do whatever you want to do. The most important thing is the due date. If the due date is January 1st of 2019, right, where else are you going to put this information? Yes. And how many weeks in advance are you going to give yourself a warning so that it reminds you that it's coming up? Great. And can you make it recurring?
Yes.
Great. So we're in our calendar, we enter it. What are we going to do? 2 weeks in advance, recurring, and what else? A note, like you want it to ding you, right? Like you want to hear it, not just like it's going to do a pop-up. Like you need a visual, auditory reminder that that's happening, okay? So you're going to go upstairs, and you're going to grab probably 4 or 5 programs that you're interested in. Hopefully you all went through the exhibitor list. You're going to go home. What are you going to do? You're going to create a new email address, right? Because if you're stuck behind the firewall of the school, they can't get to you, right? You want to have a professional-looking one, that's great. Then you're going to make the spreadsheet. Organization name, contact person, what's the deadline? Stick in another column over here, which I also always think is really important. Is it recommendations, right? Is this a yes or a no? Do you need recommendations? Let's say it's a yes. What else would you need? Maybe you need copies of your transcript, right? So what other docs? Just put a question mark. So I need my transcript. I need, report card. I need an example of my work. Maybe they want to see a paper or something else. Put it in here so that you have it. Yep?
Let's say that program you have to pay and
Fantastic. So scholarship. If you have to apply for scholarship, right, you can put it down and you can be pretty basic here. You can say a scholarship, yes, no, and then what kinds of information do you need for the scholarship? Do you need to get your parents to give you something like a tax return or like whatever it is? Everything that you need should be itemized and categorized in this spreadsheet, which you can call Summer Applications 2018. This is a great way for you to track it all, okay? When you make a contact upstairs today, hi, thank you so much, Miss or Mr. So-and-so. They give you all the information. There's probably going to be a card. They're going to give you their email address. What are you going to do? Reach out. Reach out with your new Google Gmail. Okay? Dear Mr. or Ms. So-and-so. By the way, Ms. M.S. period. Okay? Doesn't matter if they're wearing a wedding ring. Just M.S. period last name. Okay? Mr. or Ms. It was a pleasure to meet you at the Summer Enrichment Fair. Thank you so much for the material. I'll be preparing my application and submitting it. Are you the right person to contact if I have any questions? Thank you. Sincerely, write your name. Okay? Within 2 to 3 days. Don't leave it. Okay? Get on that. When you do that, what's the other thing that we haven't talked about that you have access to inside of Google? Besides your calendar, I'm going to go over here. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Oh, contacts. Okay? Your contacts. So, you create a contact for that person. Ms. Smith, she's the executive director of the Intrepid. She's in charge of this program. This is her email address. You save it as a contact. Why?
You might need in the future.
You guys send an email off, right? And how do you send an email off if you can't even remember her name? But if you go into the to field and you start typing Intrepid, what's going to happen is it's going to search your contacts first and it pops it up, right? You're there. So you have that information always. By the way, it never hurts because you know what? 6 months from now, let's say you don't get picked. I'm sorry. But let's say you don't get picked for the internship program this year. A month after it comes out, dear Ms. Smith, I applied last year for the internship program. I wasn't selected, but I'd like to know what I can do over the course of the next 6 or 7 months when I reapply next year. Right? Come on. That just screams, pick me next year, right? That's what you want to do. That's why we keep contacts always. Always, always, always. Okay, we're going to go back. We did that. Now we're going to go to creating the resume. So let's go back and find our resume, and I want you guys to help me write a resume. Now, I wasn't always this poised and accomplished. I spent my summers from the time I was in 7th grade till the time I was in 11th grade working in my mom's hair salon, sweeping hair, doing towels, washing hair. I didn't care for that, I'll be honest. It was a little ugh. But I got used to it. Serving coffee, unloading boxes. That's how I spent my summers, right? Sounds really nah, but what was I really doing? I'm working in a salon, and I'm getting coffee, and I'm greeting people, and I'm washing their hair, and I'm doing laundry, and I'm unpacking boxes that are being delivered from people who are sending my stuff. What am I doing? Go. I'm dealing with people. I'm doing customer service. What else am I doing? But what are the skills that I want to talk about, right? So I'm doing customer service because I greet them. That's right. So I'm also, in charge of communications or in charge of like customer service. What else am I doing?
Organization.
Talking about organization. Go ahead. I'm working, but I might be collecting money. Am I handling cash? Oh, I'm networking. That's true. I'm networking. But
Am I handling cash? Right? So am I responsible for handling cash? Yes. Am I responsible for managing inventory? Yes, right? These are skills, and it's stuff that just seems really mundane. If you babysit, right, talk about the age groups that you babysit. It takes actually a certain skill and a certain trust for someone to hand you over their 4 or 5-year-olds while they go out and do whatever it is they're going to do. We all know 4 and 5-year-olds. Oh my God. It takes a lot, right? So when you talk about babysitting, what you can talk about too, and think about it, is talk about it as after-school care. If you do after-school care for your siblings or for a neighbor, right, then you write that down. After-school care, I'm going to put it right here. So let's put this. You can put self-employed, by the way, because if you're getting paid, I'm good with that. Here we're going to call this after-school care. And I want to say, what are some of the things that I do? So responsible for, let's say, 2, 4, and 6-year-old children, right? 2, 4, and 6-year-old children from, let's say, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., right? Do you have to prepare dinner? You got it. You got to prepare meals. Do you shop for that? Yes. They're a little young for that, but okay, let's do that. It's all right. We'll say it's a charter school, and they're like, yeah, they're 6-year-olds. That's fine. That's totally fine. So yeah, so you're doing help. There you go. So we're going to do help with homework, right? What else are you going to do? Do you have CPR? Do you have CPR certification? Right? So CPR certified, right? So you can add that here, but you can also add that to skills or awards down before. Okay? Do you see where I'm going? Yeah. Okay? Turn what you do every day into a skill. Give me some examples. Who does stuff after school? Shout it out. What do you do after school? Maintenance? In what kind of setting? What do you do?
I help to clear out trash.
Building.
Boxes. For the ROTC.
Oh, for the ROTC. Oh, fantastic. Okay, yeah.
Clean boxes, sweep rooms, clean tables.
Great. So it's facilities and maintenance for the ROTC. I do it from this hour to this hour. Responsible for blah, blah, blah. The other thing that you also want to include in situations like that, who do you report to? Who's your supervisor, right? Like I report to the, head of facilities in this case, or I report to the lead, or like the group lead for the ROTC fill in the chapter. So they understand that you actually have experience interfacing with adults, which of course helps a lot. Let's do another example. Anybody else?
Boat building.
Say?
Boat building.
Boat building. You can boat build in New York? Oh my God, tell me about this. Where? Oh, the harbor school. Okay, so fantastic. So anything that you do along those lines, project management, right? You're going to do hard crafts. If you know design, if you have experience with, let's say, electrical or certain equipment, parks would always look for something like that as well because you're going to deal with heavy equipment. So you want to turn that into what are they looking for in the language that they want to see it in. What else? Tutoring is fantastic. Talk about the subjects. Make sure you specify the subjects. Make sure you also specify the age or grade that you're helping to tutor. If you do community service hours at school, right, because a lot of you are required to do for graduation, put that in. You can list that under your school name, right, and you can list it under, community service program, and then talk about the different community service events that you helped with. You did school tours, you helped with the play, all of that stuff. By the way, let's say you don't have outside experience, but let's say you have experience inside the school. Maybe you did crew for drama for the play. maybe you did, I don't know, library volunteer. I don't care. Put it down, right? And find that positioning, that language, to be able to talk about the work that you did. Like if you do crew for the play, like stage crew, for example, that's a pretty big deal, right? You spend your after schools, you're working in a team, in a group, you're reporting to the head of the drama department or the teacher. You know, put in the number of hours. If you're spending 25 hours a week on top of your school studies, that's a part-time job. The government thinks a part-time job is 20 hours, by the way. So it's like 25 hours a week from May until, or April until May, was the gaffer for the school play, right? And you kind of write that through. Yes?
Would this be like an involvement resume as opposed to like a work resume?
It needs to be both. Whatever you have, you need to kind of go through. It depends on the amount of experience that you have outside, as well as being able to showcase yourself for a position internally. Like the LinkedIn team said, H&M can't find enough people, right, to fill in the wintertime or the summertime for the Christmas and holidays. If you can talk about working with adults or communications or building or something like that, they want to know that you're going to be able to be poised and professional, and you can use the work that you've done in the school as a way to launch into a part-time position. Okay? Any other questions before I leave this? Yes?
Can you put any teams that you're in, like,
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. If you play any PSAL sports or even your own sports, put that in. Talk about leadership on teams. Talk about, make sure you put in like the number of hours that you spend too. Do you know how many hours a week a Division I basketball player spends practicing in team travel during the season? 40 hours a week average. That's a full-time job. On top of a full course load. If you spend time in sports and organized sports, that is material because it shows that you're able to manage your time between school and the responsibilities of sport. Same thing with volunteering, same thing with any other after-school job. Yeah.
What about if you have like, I school have like a program with this NYU college thing, but it happens through the school hours, like you say, practice people.
Yeah?
We still include that, but it's like through the school hours instead of like after school.
Sure. So what I would do is under education, where you list the current school that you're working with, or the current school that you're at. Like Columbia Secondary, I know they do, once you get, I think, into sophomore, you can take classes at Columbia or Fordham or other classes. Sounds like it's similar. What I would say is, Columbia Secondary School, class of whatever your graduating class is, and then underneath I would write, part of the NYU Scholars Program or whatever, currently enrolled in whatever course you're going to be taking at NYU, so that you're capturing that information. Okay? Wow, we're going. This is awesome. Okay. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So I'm in the different committees, so
Yep.
exactly what I learned that.
Perfect. So what you're going to do at the top there is you could put your school name / yearbook committee. What are your responsibilities, right? Getting, ordering, getting the, the profiles, like whatever it is that you do, pop that in there. How long is that committee? Is it a long period of time?
From like 3, 4 weeks to like 6 weeks.
Right, but I mean do you start in September and it goes all the way through? Fantastic. September through May, right? After school committee, dedicating, and then I would put in the total number of hours, 20 hours a week to, developing, the school yearbook, and then list the things that you do. Okay? Are you good? More questions? Yes.
What if you're in a program in school but you have like 2 jobs in that program, like for the ROTC, I'm in maintenance, but I'm also an actor. So
List it. As separate too, right? If maintenance takes up a certain amount of time in the week and it's a specific job or responsibility, the admin work is different. If you list that as separate, as another responsibility you have inside that program. Yes?
I don't see it there, but are we still using objective, or we're in a
You can. Under skills, you can change that to objective. So here's the thing about objective. Personally, if you're going to use the objective, be specific. Right? Let's say you're applying for a Christmas, whatever, December position, retail position, part-time in either Target or H&M. I'm making it up, right? Your objective statement should be clear, and it's going to sound weird, but you're going to have to send the resume in, and I'll explain why you actually want to do this. In the objective, you're going to say, objective, to obtain a part-time retail position with H&M, right? Where I can showcase my communication and customer service skills. You write the rest of it, you load it into there because you're going to go to the website because they always do. So I need you to imagine for a minute that H&M has this massive computer with a piece of software on it called an applicant tracking system. I know, boring. It matters. That applicant tracking system is like a Google filter. When all these resumes come in, the applicant tracking system looks for keywords, right? So you have to put in the right keywords that match the job description into your resume. You don't have to rewrite it every time, but I want you to be purposeful. If the job description says handling cash, stocking, inventory, night shift, day shift, weekend, I want you to find places where you can put in your resume to switch out some words, right? After school, night shift. Inventory management, right? You're collecting the materials that are coming in for the boat building. You have to be able to match a few of those words. Applicant tracking systems, the number one applicant tracking system, which covers about 80% of all employers that are Fortune 2000 companies, if you mention the company name in your resume, will raise your search results. Your resume goes to the top. So make that objective specific. I want this job at your company, where I'm sending the resume, right? And then you want to take keywords from the job description where I can showcase my customer service or my whatever skills. Make sense? That was a great question. Next. Any other questions? All right. Let's go back to this real fast. Okay. We did that. We talked about the calendar. Do we love our calendar?
Yes.
We love our calendar. Do we want to have a different name of a job that we do to be different on our resume than it is in our LinkedIn profile? It's got to match. If you say you did this program from May to September of 2017 on your resume, it needs to show that on LinkedIn from September to May to 2017. Because here's how the world works. Hi, my name is Lydia. It's great to meet you. I'm going to apply, blah, blah, blah. I follow up with my email. Ms. Smith gets my thing. She's going to be like, huh, what? I kind of remember her, but not really. Hang on a sec. Google search, Lydia Loizides. It's the first thing you want to be able to see. My LinkedIn profile, right? Or some kind of like clean social media site, some kind, or some returns. But if she then looks at my application, she looks at my resume and it doesn't match what I have on LinkedIn, am I a trustworthy person? I'm a liar. I can't get it right, right? I'm gone. Make sure it matches. Be honest. You don't have to impress people. What you want to do is you want to be honest about the capabilities and the skills that you have and work those as strengths, okay? Make that a strength, whatever you do. Customizing your resume. We talked a little bit about that. That's the key word, okay? So when you've done that resume, when you've done your first resume and you've talked about all the stuff and you've got it down and you have your name and your objective, it can be just a generic objective. My objective is to obtain the internship at the Intrepid Museum, I'm making it up, right? For this and this and this, or I want this job. All the rest of it should just be like a generic master resume. You're going to save this as master resume. And then every time you apply to a different organization, so this is my master resume, what you're going to do is you're just going to make a copy of this. And you're going to make a copy and you're going to say master resume dash H&M. And then all I want you to do is to then go through those keywords, change it a little bit. Don't spend more than 10 minutes. Don't go crazy and start rewriting the whole thing. 10 minutes. Find the job application or whatever the application wants you to have. Touch it a little bit, put in those keywords, change the objective, save it, and that's the one you send. Right? If they call you for an interview, which resume are you going to take with you? Yes, you're going to take H&M, right? Don't overwrite the same file. You want to have a copy of whatever you sent them. So just keep making a copy off the master resume and just changing the name of the document. Make sure you have the right one when you show up for the interview. Yeah.
Should you attach your resume to the sheet?
To which sheet?
Your tracking sheet.
Oh, you can. You can add a link if you want to share that, or like if you want to file that link so it can go into the tracking sheet. Absolutely, that's a great idea. For sure, for sure. Any other questions? No? All right, we're almost in the home stretch. Get a friend to read your resume. It can be your next door neighbor, your buddy, or whatever. When you've done the master resume, I would really, really like you to share it with 2 or 3 people and then have them go through, right? The I reads sometimes what it thinks that it should read, so maybe you have a you versus a your, or you wrote to TWO versus TO, or whatever it is, okay? Have someone read it. It also gives them the opportunity to go, oh, remember you did that? Or, oh, do you want to include that? Or, you know what, I don't think that's really important. Do you really want to include that there? Get some feedback. Okay, get some feedback. It can be an adult, it can be a peer, it can be your guidance counselor, it can be your English teacher. Ask. You'll have friends after that one. Any other questions?
Do we need a cover letter to go along with our resume?
Yes. Sometimes they will ask you for a cover letter, other times they won't. When we send the information with like all the other stuff on Monday or Tuesday back to you guys, there will be resources for cover letters, and this will be here, the videos. So we'll give you some templates that you can work with. The other thing before you leave, I will get to you. So there were over 1,800 kids who registered for the fair. It's huge. So I was in charge of that database. Slow down. Gmail is not spelled GMAIIL.OM. I manually had to go in and fix all those typos because I care. Org, I got some .ORs. I had spaces in between names and @ signs. Precision matters. Take your time, especially when you're filling out stuff for jobs and applications and internships. Look at it. Make sure you actually typed it in the right way. Your name should be capitalized. Lydia starts with a capital L. Loizidi starts with a capital L, not lowercase. Okay? Like stuff like that. I hate to be that broken record. Matters. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. You got a question? There's a question. A cover letter. A cover letter is a simple letter that has 3 paragraphs. It'll have the person that you're writing it to or the organization. It'll have the date. And then underneath, it will start something like, Dear Miss Smith, I'm applying information, add a couple of things from the description of the job. Last paragraph, indent. I look forward to hearing from you. My email address is this. If there's any other information I can provide you, please feel free to contact me, period, new line, sincerely, comma, or the other things. Okay? It's just a way of presenting yourself in a formal letter. Some people will ask for cover letters for jobs, other people do not. If you are asked for a cover letter, do it. Some people submit without, and they don't read the fine print. It might be a requirement of the application. They will reject your application if you don't have a cover letter. Read carefully. Please, a question. Yes, sir. Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you speak another language besides English, fluency matters in the sense, are you both fluent verbally as well as written? Specify that. And be clear. You can, by the way, on your LinkedIn profile, you can attach levels of fluency. For example, if you are taking French at school and you're 11th grade, I would probably classify that as intermediate fluency, right? So you can add the languages that you have at school to your LinkedIn profile, and also add those to your resume. Any awards, throw those on. Any recognition, throw those on the resume. Super important. Other questions?
What about international travel? That might have to do with education or...
If the travel is related to volunteering, or it's through your church, or you've done something where you've gone to do something, but you're not just like hanging out in Italy, then yes, then I would put that down, yes. Church work, by the way, if you help with the Sunday school, or you've done Habitat for Humanity, anything like that,